Spiritual wellness. This is on a great website called BeliefNet and worldprayer.org, and it has prayers for all different cultures, all different religions, secular, everything you can imagine. Fun wellness. One of the hardest things to do in recovery is to learn how to have fun again, sober. To dance sober, to laugh sober, to have sex sober.
Back to the basics, we started out as a substance abuse recovery forum, and then we adopted, before we incorporated into a 501c3, we adopted the HIV program and the Life Wellness program, and together that treats the whole person, I think. We have some alarming statistics that we found a few years ago out of the San Francisco Department of Health. Those who use crystal meth are 400 times as likely to contract HIV. Wow, we got to do something about this. That's an alarming statistic. We sit here and we talk about 20 and 30 and 40%, 400 times more likely to contract HIV if you use crystal meth. Someone who is in recovery, recovering from alcohol abuse or drug abuse, there seems to be more of an acceptance for that. But like RJ was saying, if you have a virus, you contracted the virus by a number of ways, be it risky sex, be it a blood transfusion, be it whatever, you carry this stigma. We're here to provide quality service delivery, honor choices, of course, assist individuals to live a drug-free lifestyle, and we believe recovery is possible for all individuals. The individual has to be the one that wants the recovery. If you have a drinking problem and you don't want to give up the bottle, then you're not going to. No amount of convincing from me or someone else is going to convince you to give up that bottle. But maybe we can talk about some solutions so you don't have such a headache in the morning. Maybe we can talk about solutions so you can lose the blackout, so you can remember what you did. And maybe what you can't remember is having unprotected sex or doing some other risky behavior. We work with all stages of change. Again, harm reduction is implemented. We're finding, especially in the local area, that harm reduction is a big tool. Okay, group topics. Our groups are every Saturday, by the way. They may be the group member's choice. We leave that up to the group. Members take ownership of the group. Okay, we're giving power to you. Antiquated models don't give you any power. You don't have any power. Immediately, that power is taken away from you. Okay? We don't quite see it that way. We're here to see the gray. Things are not black and white. Okay? And I think we've seen many examples of that model prove its efficacy. All behavioral health agencies have been provided the new document to get people into the groups. This is a referral document. What I want to point on is that these groups are open to every population. You just have to be accepting of all minorities. So it's important that someone in recovery, especially early recovery, can identify with other people that can understand what they're going through. And that's what we were trying to establish. The curriculum of the group encompasses triggers, external and internal, relapse prevention, develop coping skills. What happens if someone is fresh in recovery or in their addiction and they get diagnosed with HIV? That's a tough one. Or cancer, anything. That's a tough one to recover from and stay sober. And what's going to happen if they don't stay sober? Chances are, whatever they're dealing with, whether it's cancer or HIV, is just going to get worse. Another thing that we target in our groups are the differences between drugs. But I can see a very balanced person. I see it all the time. They go out, someone convinces them to do a line of crystal, and boom. It's not an addiction bone in their body, but they're hooked. Those are the differences. We can't mold all these drugs and all these different addictions together. They are all different. And every person is different. 5 stages of readiness to change and dealing with anger. We've talked about that. Anger is a big component of addiction. Some people are just more angry than others. Call it passion. Relapse dangers, high-risk situations. We kind of went over that. Identifying barriers. Exploring what works and what does not work. What are your triggers? Personal loss. Discussion of impulsive behavior. Gratifications. Denial of our illnesses, saying goodbye to your drug. That's important. Let's discuss that for just a minute. Saying goodbye to your drug. That drug, a lot of times in our minds, it's a relationship. We've got to say goodbye to it. We also have to forgive it. Well, how can you forgive something that gave you so much harm? But we have to, just like we have to forgive people in our lives for the harm that they did to us. We have to forgive and say goodbye to that drug. Finally, restoring family relationships. If you have anybody in your life who's abusing drugs and alcohol, don't think for a moment that tough love doesn't work, because it does. Okay? The addict wants to argue with you. If you argue back, you're just strengthening the addict's mind. If you cut them off, it's a good tool. A lot of people don't realize that. Identifying new activities, journaling, becoming healthy again. We have open topics for any participants that whatever they want to discuss. We want to open up activities in the future for people who are in sobriety. So that's it. That's what we're trying to accomplish. From these groups, I think we will evolve into other things for Yuma's gay community, Yuma's minority community, for the community at large. That's our substance abuse program as a whole. And it ties into HIV because we're lowering risk factors. Abuse of substances makes risk factors for HIV infection go way, 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 400 times.